Hello everyone, this is me, Nicholas, and I'm making a video on explaining about the dark side or some things that might be tough for certain people as far as LARPing goes. I don't know if you all know, but I currently do historical medieval reenactment, and that was the right thing for me. I unfortunately had some really bad experiences and some really disappointing and saddening experiences with LARP. I'm not saying it doesn't work for some people. Some people love it and it works for them, and that's great and all well and good. But I do want to point out some things that if someone's going to struggle with these things, to look out for, might want to go to another hobby. So the first thing that I want to bring up is, depending on the LARP game and depending on the group, you're not going to be able to be exactly what you want. And depending on how established it is or how long the game has been going on, that's understandable. But like for me, my passion is reenacting the executioner. And I found that in LARPs, I wasn't able to have a fair chance of doing that. And that disappointed me, because that's where I'm happy doing. That's just what I'm happy doing. I'm not happy doing anything else. So that was hard for me. And I was not happy. That's a me thing. If someone's happy being something else, that's fine. They could enjoy whatever they want. The other thing is, some LARP groups are not run well. And that's reality. Some of them, not all of them, are run in a way where the anti-bullying policies might not be fully employed, or there's issues with safety sometimes, or some people's mental health aren't taken into account, or gatekeeping, or whatever it is that it's not run well. Like, I was sadly, unjustly accused falsely of something at this one LARP group when I did nothing wrong but call someone out on being unfair to me and other people. Unfortunately, I was bullied. And unfortunately, I was really messed over. But that's a story for another time. But that's just an example of why some of them are not run well. And the other issue with some LARP groups, and this I found in most that I've ever tried, exception of one, is bullying and gatekeeping. That is the most frustrating thing to put up with when you want to find your way and find what you love doing, and you go into some group not knowing, and you end up being gatekept and bullied and not able to even thrive unless they mistreat you in some way first. That's not cool. There should be, in my reenactment group, literally that's not allowed. You're not allowed to bully people. You're not allowed to make people feel bad. Unfortunately, the way some LARPs are run, it's not held. People are not held accountable, because usually the people who run it are the ones allowing it. Unfortunate. The other thing is being unfair to new players. I experienced this as well with certain groups, and whether that is purposefully making a new character incapable of even leveling up even a little bit in the first weekend, even a little bit, they can't establish themselves unless it's 5 years in, which is not fair. It's not fair to be the one constantly getting killed off for 5 years. That's just not fair playing. That's not fair. That's not nice to new people. It doesn't encourage people to want to come back. Like, point blank, it's not fair, but it happens. The next thing is, depending on the LARP group, if you don't have a car, you won't get a ride back, because some places, like, I don't drive. I take Uber everywhere. So if you're just joining a group, understandably, people don't know you. And unfortunately, in certain areas or certain places, people are more reluctant to help new people because of their own personal fears or distrust or whatever going on, which is valid. I respect that, but it's hard when you're the one screwed over unintentionally or stranded. When you're not, I didn't realize when that happened that this was in a rural area. So it disappointed me. And that's not towards anyone in particular. But depending on where the LARP is held, if there's no Ubers, you might not get a ride back. And that could be very tough, because a lot of people don't help people. Or if someone just seems a little bit different, they're scared and they just don't help you. And that's what I ran into. I look different. Not a bad person, but I'm different. So I ended up being unintentionally almost stranded a few times. So I stopped doing LARP as well for that reason. These things I mentioned are not all LARP groups. I believe there are good ones out there. In my area, unfortunately, this is what's happening. And this is what I've personally ran into. I was very disheartened for like 3 years, or like 2.5 years, or when these things were happening. I stopped doing LARP personally. It wasn't right for me. If it's right for someone else, that is wonderful. If it works for someone else, that is wonderful. It didn't work for me, but these things I think need improvement. And it really hurt me in that moment. And I want to have people know the things to look out for, just in case they want to try it. I would want people to do whatever they want and whatever they like doing. But look out for these signs, because I wouldn't want anyone to be hurt the way I was. I really wouldn't. Like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So, and I would never want anyone to go through these difficulties in a LARP when you're meant to have fun, but people aren't letting you have fun. And it's not fun that way. So, I do want to point that out. I have nothing against LARPs. I love medieval stuff. I love fantasy. I just wish they were better run, and I wish people were nicer and less cruel at times. That's all. So, stay genuine and do what you gotta do. Like, subscribe. And this is just an informative video on the things to look out for, So, have a nice day. Bye.